Restaurants and NFTs. I don't know who's fighting the bigger fight or complaining the most. No offense. It has been a really, really tough couple of years for anyone with a physical business location. So I'm not calling you out, friend. I am saying there are amazing opportunities available to you if you can invest and embrace in 21st century solutions. So my job is to make it easy, to make it accessible, make it simple, and make it inspiring. So if you are in the restaurant industry, this is for you, because you might be thinking, how the hell can I bring NFTs into my restaurant? Like, how does that even work? But I also encourage you to listen to this if you're in any industry asking the exact same question, because the ideas that I share here are unique and special to restaurant, but they can also be applied to almost any industry. That's what's amazing about NFTs, is they are incredibly flexible, and if you can dream it, you can make it. You can also test it at kind of no cost to you or your business. It's a pretty amazing time to be alive. And I think for restaurants that experience probably the craziest last couple of financial years, NFTs are an incredible opportunity for you. So I'm going to get into the very most obvious, most available opportunity right now, which is pretty much what everybody turned to when they were forcibly closed, which were gift certificates, purchase in advance. NFTs can very easily offer anyone the one-time opportunity to purchase in advance from your business. So in this example, $100 at your restaurant. Duh. You're like, why am I listening to this? I already knew that, BZ. Okay, I heard you, but have you thought about it like this? Because here's the problem with a gift certificate in a restaurant. Having been a host, a server, a bartender, a trainer, and a manager, I know when someone rocks up with a piece of paper and they say, hey, I get $100 at your restaurant, you don't know when that was purchased. You don't know what point of sale system it was purchased on. The young person at the front of your restaurant greeting them might not know exactly how to handle it. They might not know who that person is. If this was a gift, if this was something they used in advance, you might be working with other partners in your organizations, doing coupons. It can be kind of actual nightmare. An NFT is a one-off. It has an expiry date. It gives a certain level of access to the owner, which can be verified immediately on the blockchain. Now, if you're looking for definitions, how-tos, and any other sort of deeper level of explanation, those episodes exist. That's not this episode. This is just for brainstorming and riffing on how NFTs can be used in the restaurant industry. Gift certificates are cool, my friend, but how does a gift certificate or anything recognize the people that come to your restaurant every Friday night? The people that always host their business meetings at your restaurant. And sure, their business cards might be paying for it, but they're still bringing 10 people who are putting a lot of cash flow through your restaurant. How does your restaurant recognize people's favorite servers? How can you ensure that your best people, the people who are spending the most in your restaurant, or who are coming the most often, or who are working with and recognizing and evangelizing your restaurant, getting an amazing experience every single time? NFTs can do that. So it's not just a gift certificate, because what an NFT is an asset. So the holder of that, again, gets a certain amount of access for a certain amount of time. But once they're done with it, they can sell it. And the more popular your restaurant, the more in demand your restaurant, the more recognized your restaurant, the more valuable that NFT is going to be. Imagine if you were Spago in LA. If you don't know what that is, it's like where all the celebrities used to go like 10 years ago, right? But imagine if you owned one of the original tables to Spago. You can't, well, for a long time there, you can, or let's go Chateau Marmont. I just tried to book in there, so I know. I used to have a certain level of access. I don't have that anymore. And I was told I could book a table in a couple months. But if I had an NFT that recognized the access I used to have, the person would have known who I was. And I could still gain that certain level of access because I had paid for it. Now, I could sell that. I don't live in LA anymore. I don't need that level of access. I could sell it to my friends that still do live in LA. I could sell it for a reduced price. I could sell it for more than I paid for it. That's the beauty of an NFT in the restaurant industry. What I will also say, and I haven't mentioned this on other episodes, that's another reason you want to listen, because once I start riffing, the gods know what's going to come out of my mouth. For certain industries, NFTs are an amazing PR piece. Restaurants that are using NFTs, it is news. Why? Because it's new. It's an interesting opportunity. It's a positive story to tell. So I will list a lot of different businesses. I haven't vetted them. I haven't been there. I haven't worked with them. I'm not endorsing them, but what I'm endorsing is the idea. And there are a ton of different ideas going on in the restaurant industry right now, two of which I find absolutely fascinating, one of which, full disclaimer, I am investing in. So that one is the Fly Fish Club. Now, what the Fly Fish Club is a handful of restaurateurs and tastemakers, pun intended, in the restaurant industry. Now, these guys realized very quickly, a couple of years ago, if you're listening to this, it is September 2022, that they needed to do something and do something fast in order to make some money. They were heavily invested in several different operations at the top of their game in top markets. Think Chicago, New York, LA, I want to say Miami as well. And so these are people that invest in some of the hottest restaurants around. And they're neck deep in liability in terms of investments, and there's no income coming in. So using blockchain, using NFTs, they created the Fly Fish Club, which is events that were being planned, being promised. Again, if you want to know what an NFT is and how you can use it, listen to that episode, please. But Fly Fish Club brought together, again, some of the hottest people and said, if you buy our NFT, you will get access to these people. We will bring them to you. And based on where our NFT holders are, holders being a key term there, we will bring the Fly Fish Club to you. Again, what does that do? It creates community. So I know as a Fly Fish Club, say that 10 times fast, holder, I am going to get access to people that are foodies. As a vegetarian, that's not actually my top thing. I'm going to get people that are early adopters in the crypto and blockchain technologies and NFT communities. Those are my people. But people that like to travel, people that are willing to travel for really cool, really bespoke, really artisanal things. And I love that. So then what happened with the Fly Fish Club is they created a second tier. So at their events, there's now like a little VIP space, and you can only access that space with this elevated level of their NFT. Now, you could access both with the elevated level. And so if I was an original holder, a Genesis series holder, listen to the jargon episode, then I would not be able to gain access to the VIP space. But if I was the VIP level holder, I could get both. So then I could sell my access, which is now worth more because Fly Fish Club only made so many of their entry level, Genesis level NFTs. And so you can start to see how these things can build. And now there's a ton of notoriety, a ton of PR that then benefited their existing brands because this NFT created so much press around this community. The people in the community are awesome as well. That's the beauty of an NFT is you can start to think about building community for your restaurant. And so your top customers, they may or may not know each other. It would make a lot of sense that they do, especially if they're physically located nearby each other, they're in business with each other. You could start to create VIP events at your restaurant for these people. You could start to recognize certain tables as NFTs, certain types of events like birthdays and anniversaries and holiday parties as NFTs. So you're pre-selling access, and then you know every year what's going to be happening because people know if they want to be able to do something like this at your space, they need the NFT for it. Additionally, if they can't use that anymore, they can sell it. The more valuable your restaurant is going to be in their best interest. So why would they go somewhere else if they're an NFT holder? Why would they plan an event somewhere else if they're an NFT holder? And of course, they're going to want more people doing that at your space because their NFT increases in value. See how we're creating my most favorite win-win-win here? I get really excited about the industries that think blockchain and NFT and technology, just online, digital 21st century technology, isn't for them because the ways it can be used are so creative and so unique. It will literally create the news to build your business for you. So another organization that's doing something fascinating, and I hope franchise owners are listening to this. A lot of restaurant owners are going to be franchise owners, but again, listen to the other episodes in this series. They're going to give you really amazing ideas. So there is I will name this one by name, business called Chicken Cone. Okay. Fried chicken, ice cream. The United States, fucking love that shit. So they sold NFTs for, and don't quote me on the numbers here because my brain, but so $45,000 NFTs and for specific regions of the United States. This was their way of getting early on investment to grow their national franchise. Look, you don't own a restaurant. You don't get a franchise license. You don't even get a license. All you get is a regional level of ownership. And what they said was, for every franchise they build, you will get residual income from it. You will get to participate in that local community. So imagine if you were a laundromat. I just pulled that one out of my, where. And nearby, the chicken cone that goes into your store, right? People are going to be getting ice cream everywhere. They're going to be getting grease from their fried chicken. Like, it's going to get messy, right? So you can partner with this business and bring some brand awareness and bring some attention and bring some loyalty to your business if you're the NFT holder. So different ways of looking at how this could benefit. Look that up, chicken cone. So CHICKN''CONE, and see how they're using it. First and foremost, they made national news. I saw this linked across hundreds of different websites. So if nothing else, do you know what that's going to do for your SEO, my friend? Do you know what that's going to place you on Google? Yeah, there are so many different ways you can use NFTs now. And I love that what they're doing is creating the biggest fans for their business. If you see value in buying a $45,000 NFT to own something regionally that's going to be food and beverage in your market, and you're going to be getting residual income from it, think of the motivations behind that. Sure, you might love the product, but more importantly, you might see the product as of benefit to your existing business. You're creating additional income streams, which we know is crucial if you want to be wealthy. You need to have at least 7 individual income streams. This is a phenomenal way of working with industry. So you as a business owner could create something very similarly and start amassing this network of different NFTs that you're earning residual income from. You can also create smart contracts. Again, there's a separate episode on that, but where you then can create legacy and residual income from any and for any different organization or different individual based on how you want to automate the distributions of your wealth. So we got into the weeds there with that one, but I thought it was so cool. I was like, how could a franchise create an NFT for ownership like that? There's no filtering process, right? You're not getting to say who you want to own your businesses, but they took it one step further and saying, we're going to give you, almost look at you like a shareholder. And so now you're one of the original shareholders in this franchise. And that then will give you dividends and payoffs. And I was like, now that is brilliant. There's a lot more to it than that, but so this is a BZ idea. Feel free to run with it. Just, hashtag, everything, tag at the BZ channel if you go with this. In your restaurant, you might have different recipes, whether they're cocktails or food. You might have systems and ways that you're doing. With NFTs, you could license that. So it's what I like to call the franchise mentality of business, where as you're building and creating, you're realizing that what you're doing is intellectual property. You are creating something that is of value. And so with NFTs, you could literally put your famous ribs recipe or your famous vegan Caesar recipe as a licensed product. So that's what an NFT can be. It can be the right to ownership, and then that person can use it. So another restaurant that wants to use your ribs or your vegan recipe can legally, without just copying you. You can do the same for any system or any offering in your business. And I think with restaurants, it's really interesting because so often the way that we do things, we just take for granted. We've never thought about monetizing it before. So even if it's something like, how does your sommelier pick out wines? Look, you might not want that to be available to somebody in your market, but what about a restaurant in a completely different market than you, where you could create a sister partnership where they're sending, people in Chicago are sending you to LA and vice versa. And so you might not have that franchise relationship or that shared ownership relationship, but you can still share intellectual property, this how-to of things, and get paid for it and build brand awareness. And so then your recipe is listed as, the nifty NFT neat whiskey. I don't know. That's a bad example because a neat whiskey isn't exactly a recipe, but you know what I'm saying. So I thought that was like a really interesting way for, even if it's just like setting up tables or how to, turn your restaurant into fine dining or go fine dining at night. Or there's a lot of restaurants doing really interesting things now as a result of what's happened in the last couple of years, where there's a restaurant just here, it's breakfast during the day and then it's sushi at night. Not a lot of people are going to be going to sushi in the morning. And not a lot of people need pancakes and eggs at night. But I mean, like the ambiance, how they've been able to hand that off. And I mean, I can't even imagine like the kitchen setups and what's happening back there. but I'd like to know, you could create an NFT around that with a course, how you can create 2 separate offerings in the same physical location where everybody wins. Woo, that went a little bit crazy. That's what happens when you start riffing on it. So just to recap, I think obviously gift certificates, but the way you're thinking about gift certificates evolves into the 21st century. You can be using NFTs to create community and create clubs and create access and really recognize that top 10% or top 1% in your business. You can use NFTs to monetize different events, different happenings, different, not just community events, but personal events in your customers' lives. And then finally, you can use NFTs in terms of monetizing the own intellectual property you have in your business, or giving people investment-like options and benefiting from the profitability of your restaurant as it grows and succeeds.